Hello, my name is Irina, and today I'm going to present the analysis I have completed on banking industry in the UK. The table of content is showing the steps and all the analysis we have completed for the task. And the executive summary, our research focus was on the business analytic application in the UK banking decision-making processes. The scope is to analyze the financial metric from the 10 major banks in the UK for a spanning of 10 years from 2014 to 2023. And our aim is to identify the significance of the trends in profitability, turnover, and other financial metrics. We have completed a literature review on business analytics, and according to Dillon and Ram, business analytics is the encapsulation of all mechanisms that help convert data into actionable insights for better and faster decision making. To conclude, the business analytics are tools that are employed by all big companies and are employed in every industry and sector. Business analytics is merged as a critical discipline for extracting meaningful insights from increasingly complex data sets. The field is traditionally segmented into three distinct categories that represent increasing levels of analytical sophistication and business value. According to the University of Bath, these categories from a progression from retrospective analysis to forward-looking prediction and optimization, as the table below is showing. The banking industry overview. The UK banking sector represents a sophisticated financial ecosystem that serves as a vital component of the national economy and is composed by traditional banks, established institutions like Barclays, HSBC, and building society like member-owned institution, example Nationwide, and challenger bankers. We give an example Virgin Money. The landscape, the major player in the UK banking sector are Barclays, HSBC, Lloyds Banking Group, and National West Group. The industry has experienced significant growth in digital banking and fintech innovation as they are trying to respond to the increasing customer demand for seamless financial services. From the economic point of view, the banking industry contributes substantially to the GDP, employment, and financial stability, making his performance critical in the economy health. To complete the analysis, we have used sources from platforms including Fame, Statista, and IBIS World. We have examined the 10 major UK banks that were selected, and we have used a series of key variables. Each further will be described. The banking industry trends in the UK, as we can see on the chart, in the top chart, between 2014 and 2023, Barclays and Lloyds showed controlled revenue patterns, although Barclays grew after its market downturn in 2019. On the bottom chart, the bar graph displays how different UK banks divide employee. In 2023, for example, a data set indicates that HSBC leads in terms of employee by surpassing 100,000 employees, while Barclays maintains over 90,000 staff members. Using the key variables that we have selected for the 10 banks and for the span of the 10 years, we have selected the 2014 and 2023 year to analyze the banks in terms of liquidity ratio, return on capital employed, shareholder funds, and we can conclude that banks with strong liquidity and high ROAs, such as Nationwide and HSBC, show financial stability and profitability. Lower ROAs and liquidity ratios, banks like TSB, may indicate inefficiency or financial struggles. The general trend increase in shareholders' funds suggests overall financial growth and stability within the UK banking industry. Furthermore, analyzing the net tangible assets, number of employees, turnover, and profit loss before taxation, we can conclude that banks like Barclays, HSBC, and Nationwide are the strongest performers with high assets turnover and profit. TSB Bank and Metro Bank face financial challenges with low assets turnover and occasional losses. Most of the banks are expanding their workforce, increasing their revenue, indicating overall industry growth. Profitability, however, remains inconsistent across the banks, suggesting different levels of operational efficiency and risk management. Conducting the descriptive analysis, central tendency, the mean demonstrates the typical levels of bank performance by summarizing the average turnover and the profit. Median enables skewness detection by assessing the distribution when extreme values shift from the mean. Continuing the descriptive analysis, the positive skewness value of 0.93 shows few banks generate sustainability higher revenue than others. Rose shows a flat distribution with a small spread because its Kurtosis value fails at 1.92. The 95% confidence interval for turnover is between 20 billions and 62 billions. The reliability of predictive and financial planning deteriorates when the interval span is even wider. The correlation analysis established primary financial and operational metrics connection with the UK bank. The data demonstrates a statistical relationship between higher profit loss before tax figures and turnover because the two metrics exhibit a moderate positive correlation. The correlation between employees, liquidity ratios, and turnover is weak. High revenues does not guarantee superior workforce management, financial capital utilization, or cash flow control. The relationship between profit loss before tax and ROS, as well as between profit loss before tax and liquidity ratio, implies less profitability, does not always mean that lower capital efficiency or improved liquidity, although these results lack of statistical significance. Linear regression conducted investigates the effect of turnover variable on profit loss before tax. Only 16.5% of profit variation is explained by the turnover, which shows a weak relationship. The F-statistics results demonstrates the turnover cannot predict profitability independently. The multiple regression model investigates the effect of turnover employees, net tangible assets, shareholder funds, liquidity ratio, and ROS on profit loss before tax. These variables explain 80.4% of profit changes based on the R value of 0.804 in the multiple regression model. Following the number of the predictor added to the model, the adjusted reached 0.41, indicating potentially overfitting since it represents the model predictive power. The F-static value, 2.047, P equals 0.29, suggests that the model variables fails to demonstrate a significant predictive power for the profit levels. To conclude, the correlation analysis shows that labor costs negatively impact bank liquidity while destroying the return on capital employed when banks expand their workforce size. The study confirms profitability drivers exist at multiple levels since the turnover provides inadequate for profit prediction. In contrast, numeral financial indicators account for the significant profit variation but do not reach statistical significance. As recommendation, the digital banking continues to expand. The robust data security frameworks are essential not only for regulatory compliance but also for maintaining customer trust. Banks must implement comprehensive security protocols that safeguard sensitive financial data while still enabling the analytical access necessary for performance optimization. It is critical that banks are investing in advancing analytics, develop predictive capability, enhance data security, and foster analytic culture. Furthermore, are references, and a big thank you Thank you very much for your time.